My name is Frank Des Rosiers. I'm Assistant Deputy Minister at Natural Resources Canada, responsible for innovation and energy technology. And there I fulfill two main responsibilities. First is to provide funding for energy R&D in the country. And I'm also responsible for the National Energy Labs of Canada, the Clean Energy National Labs. The oil and gas sector in Canada is a major contributor to the country's GDP, to jobs, to exports, to investments. For that regard, it is important looking at it from an energy mix for the country, but also for the world. And when we look at the recent LNG projects happening on the West Coast, the LNG Canada project, a $40 billion project, the largest project in Canada's history, it does speak volume about the importance to both the domestic and the global market, as we foresee that there could be other projects of this sort both on the West and the East Coast. Looking to the future, innovation in our eyes plays an important role with regard to natural gas development for two reasons. First, to make sure that we remain cost competitive vis-à-vis other producers, but also to look at reducing the environmental impact of natural gas production and consumption. And there are multiple initiatives on the way to look at reducing emissions, for instance, methane emissions or leaks that are out there in the system that we think are important to continue to address. I would volunteer perhaps three focus areas for innovation in natural gas sector. The first one is around air emission. So how could we reduce emission in that sector? And this is a domain that both the federal, provincial governments and the industry have identified as a priority. And we've recently launched a $12 million call for proposals to look at best solutions in that area that are cost effective and practical for the operators. A second area which we see as important is around renewable natural gas. And the CGA, along with many industry leaders and provinces, set some bold targets in that regard. And we really see a number of very exciting projects that are currently happening, which could see the share of renewable natural gas increase in the pipeline network across the country. The third area I would volunteer perhaps is around pipeline integrity, where thanks to the expertise in our universities, in our national lab, in Clean Energy Materials in Hamilton, this is an area where we think we need to continue to invest. Over and above perhaps those areas, I would note in terms of tools we've got or mechanisms we have to collaborate in those very domains. We have two principal tools that have been quite effective lately. The first is the MOU that we've established between the CGA and NRCan to partner in the use of the national labs, but also to identify some common areas of focus. And the second is the Natural Gas Innovation Fund that the CGA has been leading, along with a number of industry associations and corporate players. This is it's been a wonderful initiative, which clearly is gaining steam and getting support right across the country. So the Clean Energy Ministerial and Mission Innovation brings together over 25 countries who share in many ways Canada's challenges. So the ambition there is not just us in Canada trying to find solutions, but trying to partner with other leading countries who have similar challenges, but additional capabilities they can bring to the mix. If we look at it from a broad perspective across those 25 nations, since the call that was made 3 years ago to double the level of energy R&D in the space, we've seen an increase of $4.6 billion of investment per year across those nations. In addition to that, we've identified, just this year alone, 59 new projects representing $1.3 billion in investments that implicates 2 or 3 or more of those mission innovation countries to advance new technologies. So the goal at the end of the day is to accelerate the development and the deployment of new technologies right across the spectrum of energy technologies in Canada and the world.